I'm just gonna put my face up on my stream and put you guys on the top of my screen for this.
That'll work.
Truly a selfless man.
Truly.
Putting others before him.
No, like, I'm gonna work it so that, like, my face comes up in the corner where my camera should be.
Yeah, but that totally... Okay.
I mean, it is what it is. I personally like the avatars. I think the Scandi and the Trisnic avatars are pretty good.
Yes, they are.
We just had our banner, like our transparent banner, made this morning, and it's freaking amazing. Like, it's up on my stream right now.
Let's take a look at that. I finally got my AFK screen working right because it was just acting a fool.
I still have to set up an AFK screen altogether.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I will tell you that if anybody here gets an invite to Life is Feudal, the MMO, just skip it. It's just a lot of disappointment.
Is it now?
Oh my god, yeah. So I was mousing over, like I'm huge MMO guy, and I was mousing over the stuff to see like, oh okay, let's try to figure out how the mechanics work. And I got empty text boxes with textures. Granted, it took the time to put textures, but not the actual text in the boxes when you mouse over the stats. But as an added bonus, they definitely made sure their cash shop and subscription model works.
Of course they did.
Alright, I'm gonna push out a little, hey, check us out kind of thing on player.me.
Alright.
But in the meantime, one of the things that I wanted to discuss is apparently Doc Disrespect announced that he's returning on February 5th.
I have no idea who that is.
With his wife. You don't know who Dr.
No.
Disrespect is?
Not a clue.
I can honestly say I don't give a flying.
Who is this person? I mean, I'm sure he's a cool guy, but who is this
He's
person?
one of the most popular streamers on Twitch.
Ah, okay. Well, good for him.
And,
Hope everything works out.
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds mostly, and other types of those types of games.
That's why. I'd be like, you tell me Preach was coming back. I'd be like, oh, I love Preach. Yay! Why did you leave Preach?
Well, I pay attention to people that have over 1 million follows usually. At least I'm aware of them, because I take notes. Whenever I watch
What's up, Cheesy? How's it going, man?
I take notes on how to improve my own stream. You know, like, oh, that's a good idea. Meh, I would never do that.
This is our new Saturday Sasscast. Short attention span podcast. We're discussing streaming, stuff like that. I love this green screen.
In my opinion.
That's not a bad thought. You can mimic those that are more successful than you on the platform.
Yeah.
So, did you have like a list of topics or something that you came up with, Rick? I mean, this whole thing is your idea, pal.
Yes, I did. I was just waiting to get a word in edgewise. Okay, to start with, I wanted to bring up, let's go through everybody's current challenges with streaming. What they have their problems with, how they think they can grow. Like mine right now is getting my name out there to get people watching. I mean, obviously that's networking a lot of it, so that's the kind of things I wanted to discuss today. So, I mean, Scandi, let's start with you. What challenges do you currently face with streaming?
For me, right now, it's the one metric that's kicking my ass, and this is partially because of how much I stream. I stream almost 7 days a week, usually for more than 4 hours at a time. So what I'm struggling with are concurrent viewers, or average of 3 viewers for 30 days. I keep fluctuating. Some nights, like last night, I get 8 to 10 viewers, but at some point in the middle of my stream it goes down to 2 or 3, and that tanks my average, you know, for that stream. And I try not to pay attention to the numbers too much, but it is literally the only thing keeping me from being able to do the affiliate thing. And it's kind of maddening, honestly.
Yeah, that's the same problem I'm having, honestly, and it almost feels like Twitch is punishing those who are putting the time that they have to do this. Which, you know me, I do this full time right now because my wife is a lovely woman. But I'm trying to do it full time, but it seems like I'm being punished for doing that. Does it feel that way to you?
Do I feel... Yes, to an extent. I know that I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot by not ending my stream when I know that I've had the right amount of people watching at a certain time. But I stream until I'm done streaming, and so I figure over time I'm going to be able to get those numbers. But right now it's really a wild fluctuation. Um, People love watching me play Ark. No one tunes in when I play PUBG, but I love playing PUBG. What do I do? You know?
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I get most of my viewers when I'm playing PUBG or something to the like. When I played Ark last night, I think I got maybe 3 tops. So, I mean, that's the same thing both ways. And it's not just one game. I think it's just our level of interaction with the community when we're playing a certain game. Like, when I play PUBG, I'm always, talking to the chat because I don't really care to watch myself run across the desert. Well, hello, Tris. What do you think on this subject?
Pretty good. I am a little more laid back than Scandia is regarding this. And I do kind of struggle with the playing a fun game versus playing a game that I know will get us views. You know what I mean? Like, I notice that more people come in to just check what I'm doing when I'm playing Ark than when I'm playing PUBG because of how many other people I'm competing with when I start playing PUBG.
Well, that's actually something Rod and me were talking about the other day. He says that the reason he gets as many viewers as he does because he's like ranked number 5 on the Rocket League stream board because there's not that many people playing it. But the question is do we want to play a low count game because that's also, less people there.
That makes sense.
In the end, it comes down to you have the fundamental dichotomy of do you stream for fun or do you stream for views? Now, streaming for fun will usually bring in views, as there's an old saying in martial arts, speed and power are free, but technique is expensive. With technique comes speed and power. That being said, I stream less popular games than all of you, and I because I'm usually MMOs and RPGs. And I've been able to build a following through a couple of actions. One, I tend to follow a 1 to 10 ratio of plugs. So every link of mine that I post, I try to do, at an absolute minimum, 10 posts of substance that don't involve me on the social media sites that I'm active. And the second is, every time I look at my view count, and Scandius has caught me on this, I slap myself in the face a little bit. You might see it on stream. And the idea is not only is that funny to see, but it helps put me in the mood. In fact, I'll demonstrate the technique that I use now.
I have seen this technique multiple times.
It works, because it's like, okay, Nim, no, don't focus on that. That's not important. The audience doesn't care about your metrics. The audience cares, are we having a fun time? Are we enjoying yourself? Are you able to laugh? And that way, it's a good visual cue to be like, all right, Nim, get your head back in the game. Come on now.
Right. Oh, the picture is me right now. I just took that picture and put it up so that you guys can see what I look like. But I don't have like a webcam yet, so, and that's where I am in relation to where Scandy's playing. He's right behind me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my setup behind her in the background of that picture.
Yeah, pretty killer setup.
Sandy HQ.
So I want to clarify. I don't play for the views. I would like the views so that I can go affiliate. I play for fun. I already do this. This is just me sharing what I do and wanting to build something out of it. I want to build a fucking amazing community, and that's what I'm working towards. This is my, to an extent, it's a second job for me, because I have a 9 to 5 that I basically have to work to pay the bills. But when I get home, I put on my other hat, and that other hat is Scandy the Streamer. And basically, if I'm gaming, I'm streaming. I don't feel comfortable, like it feels weird to be gaming on my own without streaming now. I don't know if that's weird or not, but like I feel the urge, like when I sit down, I'm like, I want to share this with everybody, and I want to have a good time. Hold on a second. I'm gonna readjust here. So I don't stare at the numbers all night. I do have a little box on my little Elgato Stream Deck that does tell me viewers, just so I can know if someone's tuning in or not, or if I'm by myself and just talking to myself, which I do anyway. In fact, I've gotten into trouble now in Destiny where my clan leader tells me to shut up because I'm talking to people on the stream instead of listening for raid callouts. You know how it is, Nim.
Can confirm.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you talking about feeling weird while playing without streaming. I do the same thing. I caught myself playing Ark this morning and talking to my stream, and I never started my stream this morning.
So you were talking to yourself?
I was completely talking to myself, completely unintentionally. But I get that. Is, you know, when I'm playing games, I stream because, you know, it's what I do. Yes, I'm trying to build something out of it. I'm trying very hard to build something out of it. But that's just the way I am. But I don't stream just for the views. I stream because that's what I enjoy.
Let me clarify. When I mentioned the dichotomy, I wasn't saying that either or anybody is doing that. I'm just saying that there are two pretty distinct approaches. And it seems like everyone in this camp, as it were, streams for the enjoyment of video games and the sharing and the building, as opposed to being a pure monetization platform. Because, well, it's just it's from what I've played with you guys, I know what that is. I don't know. I just know that it always seems to be like a sweet spot. So, for example, I have a guild that tunes in when I'm streaming. And that is both a negative and a positive, because WoW is a much smaller streaming community than PUBG or some of the more popular things, but I also have a bit of an insular audience, so, you know, plus minus.
Lady Sif says I'm a good one.
You are.
Thank you, Lady Sif. I appreciate that a lot, I really do. And I also appreciated your raid the other night. I think you had 7 people come along with you, and that was pretty amazing. Like, seeing all those people dump into my channel, I was like, what?
That was awesome too. You guys are awesome.
I was freaking out. I'm like, 7 people. Woo! I know, like, to the bigger streamers, they're like, man, but to me, that's huge.
No, the day you're no longer excited about getting extra viewers, you know, you might as well stop. At that point, you might as well be like, oh.
Well, you know, that's the thing, is I get excited when somebody hosts me for 3 viewers. I mean, it's not that big of a difference for us.
Yeah.
I mean, a view is a view for us, and it's amazing. It's another person we get to share our content with.
So, my ultimate goal, and I know we're talking about fun versus monetization, but my ultimate goal is to do. I love gaming. I love sharing that with people. I'm also a fucking huge geek and nerd, and that is not a derogative statement as far as I'm concerned. It's a proud badge to wear on my chest. And my dream is to turn this into something that I could do full time. And that does require paying attention to things like monetization and being able to get subs and tips and donations and all that kind of thing. But that's because what I ultimately want to do is share this with people full time. I want to be able to do 8 hours a day, you know, and just have a blast hanging out with people online and gaming. I mean, that's the dream, you know. And part of that is I want to build up this just amazing community of people that want to hang out and game with each other and interact with each other. And to just that's the current dream. That's the ideal that I'm reaching for.
Yeah, I get that. I try to do this 8 hours a day, you know, and I have fun doing it. I mean, it's just what I do. But let's one of my viewers, Cheesy Plays, just said, it's hard to be an internet personality when there's already internet personality out there. You have to set yourself apart from what they have as an audience, and you don't. You have to hook the people that you want, and if you read a headline like dropping 40 kills in PUBG, someone's going to click on that to tune into that, you know. However, if you just put PUBG, then there's people like Summit or Tim the Tap Man that they're going to go watch instead. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, is if you're doing it for the monetization, you're worried about money, and the creativity just isn't there. You know, with the titles
right.
and everything else, you've got to be creative. You've got to have fun. You've got to do something new.
I agree with you 100%.
Then there's people like Lisa.
And what I've been getting told by my wife and my friends is that when I open up, I'm fun to hang out with. The problem for me is that by nature I'm an introvert, so I turn inward to get my mental energy, you know. So when I'm out in the real world, it's very hard for me to interact with people comfortably that I don't know on a regular basis. Someone will ask Nikki, hey, how was your day? And Nikki's like, it's great. I just went food shopping and did this and that. And I'm just trying to cringe away, you know, stick my hands in my pockets and kind of slink off and be like, okay, that's all you know. Just because it makes
Yeah, when somebody asked you, how was your day? It was okay.
Yeah. That's about the extent of it. So what happens is when I get home and I sit down, I'm in my refuge, and interacting with people on stream lets
They're
me
making some
stretch
good
the
points over there.
social itch because I don't want to be alone despite everything, you know. But doing it from the comfort of my home, where I don't have any of the social anxiety that comes along with being an introvert.
Exactly. I can look at names on a screen and be able to interact with them like I normally would with, you know, my circle of closest friends because I can't really see their faces.
Right.
And that's a big thing for me, is not being able to see the faces allows me to be me because it's just me in front of my computer. It's not, you know, a bunch of people in here. It's just, I mean, they're viewers, you know, I know them as people. I'm not trying to say that they're just numbers on a screen, but...
Right, I get it.
So, Scanning, it sounds like you have problems with didactic communication, as in small group, you know, one-on-one communication. And having a barrier, such as the computer, as a performer, will allow you to transcend that. If I may make a small suggestion, and this is what, when I got back from the Marine Corps, one of the things people suggested I do, which was try to connect and actually chat with people, even if it's only like, you know, some small chat, you know, in a line at a grocery store. Because at that point, it's just... You're stepping outside of that. I am a naturally extroverted person, so that's no problem, no problem with that. But that's my fortunate thing. But sometimes I used to have trouble with didactic communication. Now I talk to everybody.
And see, I've learned to do that to a point. I can talk to some people, but if I look at somebody and they've got like a grumpy look on their face, I'm immediately tucking my tail and walking away.
Imagine that they are patrons at a restaurant you used to work at. You'll be fine. You'll be able to yell at them all day. It's okay.
For me though, it's kind of weird. I'm a lot more extroverted. Okay, so like I grew up kind of like the kid that was teased at school. So like I was at first when I was a toddler like really extroverted. I would say hello to strangers and it would scare the heck out of my mom. And then I was teased, so then I decided that humans were just too much work. So then during junior high and early high school, I was just like, all right, these books are really interesting. So I didn't really want to talk to people because I always suspected they would just tease me. And then, like, as I became an adult, I realized no one really gives a shit, so I became more like myself. But I've always been on the fence between extroverted and introverted. In real life, when I first meet you, hey, I'm friendly and that sort of thing in real life. And after a while, I get tired. But then online, I'm a lot more reserved. I don't have an explanation why. Scandy's a lot more friendly online than I am, and I don't know why.
So we balance each other out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We switch roles. In real life, I'm more extroverted and I introduce people and, hi, I'm Nikki, what do you do? What are you doing? That sort of thing. And then online, Scandy's the one who does the, hi, I'm Scandy. This is my wife. She's busy poking Minecraft for a long period of time. Let's just get her attention and see what she says to us.
Another thing I've noticed about streaming is the biggest thing is try not to get too competitive when you're in it. I've noticed this because when you're competitive, you're focused into that game.
I make no guarantees.
Oh,
So I actually run my chat when we're doing progression rating. It's like during the school, I'll glance if I can, but this time, you know, I'm ready to bring democracy. I mean, take the loot from this guy. That's what we're doing.
You'll see me in like the final 15 of a PUBG game. There is no interaction between me and the stream at all because my face is about this far away from the computer and I'm in it.
And I think the audience understands, especially when in a competitive game like PUBG, Fortnite, you know, other things where it's like, no, really, we're actually now the people who everybody who's been stragglers have been picked off. Now it's the actual players.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of what I see is, you know, I do watch the bigger streamers myself. Watched a lot of them, and the thing is they don't really care about the wins. They care about having fun while they're playing. Like you watch CD in the third, he will waste the entire first half of a match playing soccer. which is actually really fun now that they've added the new soccer goal in Fortnite.
Neat.
So there's soccer in Fortnite now? That's
Yeah, I
what I'm
haven't
getting
played
out
that
of
yet. I saw the announcement for it, but I haven't played it yet. I'm interested in seeing what that looks
It's
like.
a fun game, but the soccer...
Is that one of the special game modes?
No, it's not. It's just you have to land in a certain place on the map when playing Battle Royale, and there's a big soccer stadium with 2 goals on either side, and it actually counts your goals as you play.
Alright.
That's awesome.
That sounds fun, but yeah.
But yeah, that's what I kind of mean. Is most of the time you watch the big streamers, they're just screwing around. If they happen to get a win, they're like, oh hey, look at that, I won.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so by nature, I'm competitive. Which is why mostly me and Nikki do not play games where we go head to head, because we're both that way. Lots of shit ends up getting talked, and sometimes we'll get a little gurry at each other because one person just completely stomped the other. Either it's me or her.
I headshot him too much.
Like, I'll relay this one story.
Actually, yes, I
way
will be
back,
grinding Monster Hunter.
I started playing, I don't know, Halo 2, Halo 3, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was playing multiplayer with her, but it was a deathmatch. It was a free-for-all.
On a console. Let me just make that clear. A console first-person shooter.
She got tired of me headshotting her so much, she just started
I will
jumping
play
off
with
the
you.
ledges to suicide.
I changed the game.
You know, that's actually a problem with my wife. We've been playing Words with Friends a lot lately. And, like, we'll get 3 moves in, and she'll put one of those little 2-letter words that blocks off the whole quarter of the gaming space, and I will resign right there just because I can't handle that shit.
Sounds like you need to have words with your wife.
Seems like it, don't it? But no, like, me being an old Call of Duty competitive player, competitiveness is just kind of, it's there with my gaming. Because, I mean, you can ask Nim, I was having trouble not being competitive when he was playing Call of Duty the other day.
Yeah, he was like, how are you laughing about death? I would murder people. I would come through the screen and just kill you. And again, I understand where that's coming from. Like, you know, if I'm parsing well in WoW, or if I'm doing stuff in EVE, or if I'm doing stuff in other things, like, that's my area of expertise, where it's like, I should perform at a certain level, and I'm irritated with myself when I don't. And I try not to let that show on stream, obviously.
I just like winning in games.
I do as well, that's my problem. Like, you know, PUBG is not my strong suit at all. We've seen me play this game. And
PUBG is really strange, because for me, I could be on my shots all night, get 2-3 chicken dinners with people, and then the next day I'll play it, and I can't fire a damn shot to save my actual virtual life.
you know, I have that same problem. You know, the past 2 days I played... Yeah, I see her playing Slither over there. The past 2 days I have played PUBG, or the 2 days before that. Both days I made it to second with 6 kills. And then yesterday I tried to log on, and that's why you saw me playing Final Fantasy and all that, because I couldn't hit a shot. Like, not one.
Yeah. Well, I was having a lot of fun hanging out with you in Ark last night. That was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, we both. And then I told
Yeah.
Nikki, I logged in this morning, and both Brittany and the Triceratops I worked so hard to tame right before I got off last night, they were both gone.
Aww. Like dead, gone?
I don't know, I just logged in and couldn't find them.
So what you're saying is I need to now build you some dino trackers. Because you, did you put them in an enclosure, like behind a fence?
No, they were up on top of my hill, but I hadn't quite got the whole fence built yet.
So, make sure you have an enclosure before you start taming stuff, because the thing is, stuff spawns, even when you build. Like, in that big enclosure that I've staked out for the fortress, random things still spawn in there, and and we have those Ravagers on patrol, so they just auto-attack it, you know, and then I just log in and I'm like, oh, you got 1,000 more meat, you know. I guess you've been eating well, you know, but they will spawn. No matter how safe you think it is, there's probably going to be something that spawns there. And if your critters are programmed to defend themselves, they'll go wandering off after whatever it was, you know.
Ah, that makes sense.
You could probably I don't know if I could check the tribe logs, but it might be on there. Like if it says this thing died and that thing died. I don't know. I'd have to log in and find out after the podcast, though.
Okay. Now, like when I first logged on this morning, they were there, but then I logged out for a few minutes and came back and they were gone. So.
Oh, they probably just ran off someplace or fell into the water or something.
I'm hoping so. But anyways, back on subject here.
Lady, it could have just been something that wandered too close to his dinosaurs and then aggroed them like a raptor or ravager pack or something. Especially if he didn't have walls put up yet to keep them safe. Anyway, getting off topic a little bit. I'm sure Nim is like, I don't know what any of this means.
No, I know what I've seen the stuff. I remember the first arc before it was Survival Evolved, but it is what it is. The important thing is, I think, since we're getting into game talk and that's fun, but the purpose of this was to talk about stream and growth and community. I think that something to keep in mind, and this will probably be my ending thought on this, is that remember that we should mold consensus and not seek consensus. So that's why I'm super active on Player, because that's my preferred social media site. I like that, and I think I do fairly well on there. Now I do have some other goals that I'd like to reach ambassador status, so I spend a lot of time there. But that's secondary. The important thing is by building a community and by making people feel welcome, even if they don't play the same genre or if they're playing with snakes during what is an important podcast. We make people feel welcome.
Well, that is the biggest thing about being a streamer, is making sure people are welcome.
I have been sufficiently chastised.
But that's the biggest thing about being a Twitch streamer, is making sure people feel welcome when they're there hanging out with you. And, even outside of that, I mean, you got streamer buddies, go watch their streams. That's I'm always popping into your guys' streams. You guys aren't the only ones either. I pop into a lot of streams throughout the day. And, that's what makes people feel, welcome. Is, the fact that you're willing to take time out of your day to go watch their stream without any prerequisite of them coming watching your stream. Like, a lot of the people I watch, none of them come watch me. I'm cool with that because I enjoy their streams. That's why I'm there. But, I'm building a community,
right.
And that's a lot of it.
Right.
Thank you, Cheesy.
One thought I just had about this is that there's a streamer, and I won't name him, whom makes good friends, but then keeps you at arm's length, and I understand why, because he's an older streamer. He's been streaming for way longer than us, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. And he greets people, and they join his community, but then he keeps everyone at arm's length. He doesn't talk about anything in his personal life. He doesn't really bring them in. I have less of a feeling of camaraderie with him than I have through any of the people who Scandy's made friends with through Player.me. He knows my name, he greets me when I show up, and that sort of thing, but then there's, problems where, he's choose any song, you can have any song in my list, and you can play songs while I play, but not this, and not this, and not this, and not this, and not this, and, and then I don't know, it's kind of I know he's in it for making a living and not quite so much the love of gaming, and I can tell. And that made me less of a fan of him when I realized that.
And that makes a lot of sense right there. And that's why I say, you don't have all the creativity and everything. You want to be friends with all these people who are watching you. You don't just want them watching you just sitting there, watching your video. You want to have to be able to talk to them. You want to be able to know about them, stuff like that. That's what I mean when I say that.
Right.
I understand all the perspectives on it. I don't have as bad a time because I can't request a particular song I want to listen to. I honestly don't care about that. I get entertained by them and I enjoy interacting with them. And they have been a good friend to me online. At times, I know who's Nikki's.
Exactly,
At times
cheesy.
they can be pretty controlling in their stream.
It's got to be, you know, it's a friendship. It really is. You and me are good friends. What, 2 years now?
All you meant to be was helpful, and you want to interact with them and hopefully game with them and have a good time. I take the standpoint of I include everybody as much as possible, and I allow for things like that because we all have different personalities and we all have different goals in all of it. But for me, the ultimate goal is to build community and to have fun doing so.
Hey, so while this conversation got real heavy, you know, and we should probably start moves. Let's do something a little light. You know, what is one accessory you guys tend to stream with? I'll start. As you may have seen in the video, this is a liter Stein. I fill this with an energy drink or with a beer every time I stream. Right now, it's an energy drink because I'm trying to parse tonight. Those bosses are going down. But, you know, what's one thing you guys stream with?
You guys probably already know mine before I even bring it on stream. Can anybody guess?
Your vape?
Yeah, I hear Rec just like...
So for me, it's this lovely bottle of Kraken that's desk-sized, right next to my computer. It's an accessory. I don't use it all the time. But my other thing is this lovely little vape, which is called a Desert Pure.
Oh.
And inside the vape is a concentrate. And that concentrate is usually one of several cartridges I have on my desk, which could be filled with things like cannabis, CBDs, and tasty, smelly things. And it's pretty cool because it's just this. It's not that giant monstrosity you got, Rec. But I just push this little button. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, see, Sif just brought up another key feature of my stream.
What's that?
The couch.
The couch.
The couch.
Behind the sheet that you're hanging from your ceiling.
Don't look behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the couch behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain. There's nothing behind the curtain.
That's the puppet master back there.
That's really advantageous later on because if anybody visits you, they can all stream from the couch with you while you're playing and stuff.
That is actually the initial purpose of the couch, why it's in my office, because when my brother comes over and plays, and we play, you know, multiplayer games on one screen, it's all done back there on that couch.
Yeah.
I want to break the fourth wall. I don't know what you're talking about. I want to totally ruin immersion. It'll be like there's a wall and then just come out of the background like, whoa!
You know, I actually do that. I have...
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this.
Nikki! She just trolled my camera. The software only picks her up if she gets so close to my desk.
Let's see. You know, that's actually something I've wanted to do with when I die in PlayerUnknown's or something like that. You know, this becomes completely invisible when I'm streaming. So I've thought about just pulling up the curtain of this, just pulling it over myself and disappearing into the background. As I break shit, yeah.
Since you can use the chroma key, you can put your own background behind there too. So you can come up with like some funny cartoony thing, and then like it'll always be in your background, and then the second you put it over your head, you'll just see the cartoon.
That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Or like Rec blowing, or an animated GIF of Rec just blowing up or something.
Aw, Rec in peace. Rec in peace.
Have like a bulldozer come through with like Wrecking Crew flashing on the screen, you know?
I'll just slowly slide out of the frame.
Oh my
It
god.
is a very silly walk.
For me, in terms of what I stream with, that I stream all the time with, I don't know. I have the dog behind me on the same chair. He gets cold very often, and so when he comes over and paws me and he's shivering, I put him behind me on the chair.
Speaking of which, where is he?
Behind me on the chair right now.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. He sure is.
He's got a little red sweater on, and he's just
Yeah.
sitting there.
One of someone on Facebook told Nikki that it looks like he shops at LL Bean or something. Because we
I've got
bought him a
nicer
little.
sweaters than I do.
Well, he's a short hair terrier, so he just gets shivery when it gets cold out. And the sweater actually helps him stay warm. So.
Well, see, my pets are the opposite. My cat climbs up on my lap to keep me warm. In all honesty, he's a 25-pound long hair.
So many.
I had a
So
mechanical
many-
fish, and it died. It leaked. I was so sad. I came back, and it died, and I didn't know what else to do. I was like, I'm destined to not have pets.
Rick, it was very hard for me to not make innuendos just now.
Not now, Scandy. This is an important podcast.
I'm sorry, but you're like, the cat comes up onto my lap to warm me up. I'm like, oh my god.
And it says a lot for how much I'm putting into this podcast that I did not even notice that innuendo before you brought it up.
Dude, I'm sitting there going, do I say it? Do I say it? Stop, bad Scandy.
Alright, well, I am going to go ahead and take off. I've got a birthday dinner and drinking ahead of me, so...
Oh, alright. So, are we doing this every week? We doing this every other week? What's the plan?
I would love to do it every week if you guys are available.
I can make a half hour of my time available.
That sounds good.
And this has been fun.
And we have room for improvement too. It is fun to talk
Shame
about
on
this
me.
stuff.
It is shame on me, girls. You're absolutely correct. I am a terrible professional bad influence. Alright, Rick, I'll let you go before you get in trouble with the wife.
Alright, we will see you guys later. Probably, I'll be back by tomorrow, so I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play some more Ark. I gotta get shit done.
Maybe next topic could be managing significant other relationships while streaming and how much burden that is and how much burden it isn't. Like maybe
Oh.
challenges regarding that.
Sounds
as
like a
topic.
wonderful
That
topic
would
for
be
me.
good.
That sounds like a
Roxanne
good
would
topic.
also be able to lend weight to that, as she
Yeah.
often.
Like, have her pull up a chair. I mean, I
She'd
would
be
have
welcome.
I'd have my wife pull up the chair, but she's already on the podcast.
I'll have my wife pull up a chair too.
You are welcome on the podcast when we talk about relations
Oh.
with non-streamers and non-streamers.
I mean, next Saturday.
No, Nikki did not call me a burden. Just the burden on relationships.
Like my
that you
nose?
Put in time. And also, she just massaged.
Like my nose.
I can't hear you.
Hi,
Hi.
Boo.
If you see that massive cut on her
Thanks for
nose, she dropped a bucket on her face today, so she's kind of hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Blue, if it makes you feel any better, when I'm sleepy at night and reading on my tablet, I fall asleep and it hits me smack in the face.
I do that with my phone.
So, I can relate.
Yeah, but I just do this.
We can't hear her.
Oh. Yeah, you gotta push your button when she talks.
I'm
buddy.
trying to, but she's talking just so randomly I can't keep up.
I am random, you know this.
Also,
What?
but
Let's try that again.
You,
Take
you
two.
said you said also, and then nothing?
I'm a very,
I was
very
trying to
random
let, them
person.
talk. So, sorry.
Alright, guys, but I'm going to take off. I'll see you all later.
Bye.
Alright, bye-bye.
Bye. Lots of hugs to everybody.
Alright, guys, we are going to get the hell out of here for today. I got stuff to do. I will send you the bucket's number in an email. It will be unlabeled. Peace out.